Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am very excited about today's video because I have a couple of products here from a well-known brand that I have never tried before. So we're going to try them out together today. I'll be honest you guys, I actually opened these up about a week ago and I've been using them throughout the week, so I already have some thoughts. We'll get into it in just a moment. I have a couple of eyeshadows here as well as a highlighter, and I think you'll be surprised what has impressed me the most. I also have a couple of things that I picked up at the drugstore this morning. I have a new mascara that was sent to me by Physicians Formula. Should be a lot of fun. Before we get into all the makeup, I want to give a special welcome to any of you that are new here. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you enjoy this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel before you leave and make sure that notifications are turned on. With that said, let's get right to it. All right, so what is this brand that I am talking about? It is the brand Melt Cosmetics. So I have two eyeshadow palettes here. These are smaller eyeshadow palettes and then a highlighter. I picked all of these things up from Sephora just last week. These are currently on sale. I did check this morning. They are still on sale, these Zodiac palettes. So I have the water palette and the earth palette. I'm kind of tempted to go pick up the other two. They're on sale right now for $19 a piece. And I have to say, guys, I'm actually kind of impressed with these. There are some issues I had with this color story, but this color story, the water one, which, let's be frank, this is a blue eyeshadow palette. Not usually my cup of tea, but there are some really stunning shades inside here. So we're gonna try this one out today. We'll probably actually will use some of the blues and grays that normally intimidate me or might intimidate you if you are a bit afraid of color. Let me go ahead and insert a close-up of the water palette for you guys right here so you can get a closer look at these shades, how bold they are, what they look like side by side. And then here is the earth palette. So I tried this one out. I actually got this one first and then it took a few days longer to get the water palette. So I just tried that one out a few days ago. This is the earth palette. Beautiful. But for me personally, this lacks a light shimmer, which is kind of an essential for me. It's like a neutral brown. I just need a light shimmer on my lid at all times in any palette. So I kind of wish that this yellow, which these yellows don't usually look very good on me, I wish it was more of like a golden champagne or something, but that's just me. I'm kind of quirky that way. Other than that, I love this color story. I did use this bronze, this kind of purpley brown, and then this light brown right here a couple of days ago. It created a beautiful look with something added into the inner corner. But I have been pretty impressed with these formulas so far. I know that Melt is kind of a cultish eyeshadow brand. There's a lot of people that maybe like Viseart, they kind of have a cultish following. I guess you could say that about any eyeshadow brand, frankly. Now, one thing I wanted to point out, the pan sizes in here are smaller. They remind me of the ColourPop palettes that have the slightly smaller round pan sizes, which is at this point, I think most of the ColourPop eyeshadow palettes have the smaller pan sizes like this. It's not a huge deal, but it is something when I opened these up, I was ever so slightly disappointed that they were not larger pans. Another thing that I picked up is this highlighter right here. This is the Melt Cosmetics Digital Dust Highlighter in the shade Stargazer. You guys, I am obsessed with this highlighter. Of all the things that I bought, this is the thing that I am the most wild about. I think this is such a great highlighter. It's like the perfect formula. It's very, very intense, but you can go in with a light hand. It's very refined. It's not very chunky. It doesn't emphasize texture. It gives you this beautiful reflective quality. I actually don't have it on yet. I wanted to put it on together today. As you guys might notice, I'm gonna insert a close-up for you right here. I've had this for about 5 days. Look at the dent I have in this already because I have used this thing like crazy. I've been digging my brush into this. I wanted to preserve the beautiful Melt kind of cursive that was written on top of it, but I just couldn't help myself. This thing is so, so good. Now it is currently not on sale anymore. I got mine, I wanna say for like $25. It's normally $39. I would easily pay $39 for this highlighter. I love it that much. Or if I lost it, I would go rebuy it. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of this on before we jump over to the eyeshadows. By the way, I am wearing most of my makeup on my face right now. I'll list everything down below that I am wearing. I have my NARS Light Reflecting Foundation on, my Dior Forever Skin Concealer. I have my Fenty Cream Bronzer in Butter Biscuit. And then in my brows, I have my Revlon Brow Ink and the Essence Soap Brow that's not available anymore. Okay, let's jump into this highlighter. I'm gonna just take a little bit on my brush. And there we go. Hopefully you guys can see this thing in action. Do you guys see just that? It's such a pretty reflective quality. It is a warm, light, kind of champagne gold, but it's not too yellow. I'm very picky with my golds. This one's just a slightly warm champagne, I would say. But it's very sheer, but it builds up really nicely. Hopefully you guys can see that intensity. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love this highlighter so much. Honestly, it's one of the ones that when I put it on, even though I know that, okay, that's plenty, I want to keep adding more because I just enjoy putting it on so much. I have to tell myself to stop. Enough. Enough is enough. You're done. Before we move on to the eyes, I did want to add a little bit of blush. This one's not technically brand new. You guys have seen me use this in a recent video, but I wanted to talk about it again because I didn't technically do a December favorites video. This would have been in my December favorites video. This is the Nabla 2 Reasons blush. I have the shade Touch My Soul. I'm obsessed with this blush, you guys. It is the only blush, other than I think I used my Natasha Denona one for a video recently, and then I used it. It's on my desk right now. I used it one more time after that, and I went right back to this one. I've probably been using this for like 4 weeks straight every single day that I've done my makeup, which is most days. I rarely go a day without putting makeup on because I just love wearing makeup so much and playing with makeup, and it's the funnest part of my day. This technically is like, I think supposed to be a lip balm. I guess I don't really know that. This is called the Cream Color and Glassy Balm for cheeks and lips. So I was assuming that this more opaque one would be for your cheeks, this one would be for your lips. I guess you could use them both for either. I don't use either of these on my lips, but I do like to tap a little bit into the cream blush, and then the one that's a little bit more sheer. I'm not sure if the camera is catching that, but I'll just give a little tap into that one, tap it on the back of my hand, and then lightly just tap on the apples of my cheeks. And this color and formula gives you the most beautiful, I just came in from the cold air flush of color that is like what a blush is made for. Kind of reminds me of like old school Hollywood, like blushed cheeks. It's so pretty. You guys, I love this so much. And I don't know if it's the formula or if it's more the shade. Hopefully you guys can see that. Is that not just so stunning? Oh, one of my favorite blushes that I've tried for a while. And it's very easy for me to fall in love for a blush, and that's saying something when something really skyrockets to the top very quickly like this has. Okay, let's move on to the eyes. So as I mentioned, today I want to try out the water palette. Here's another look at this beautiful color story. Now it is very blue and green in tone. I mean, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 8 shades in here are very colorful. So I imagine there's a lot of you that would be intimidated by this. You certainly could get a gorgeous natural look just using these 3 shades right here, which I have already done, which seems like kind of a waste to get this whole palette and just use those 3 shades. So obviously, if you're not into blues and greens, maybe this isn't the palette for you, but I want to try and show you guys today, or see if we can create a somewhat wearable bluish green eye look that is not going to be too intense or over the top. Kind of a more natural look with just a touch of color. So we're going to start off in this shade, which is a really great transition shade for my skin tone. I'm just going to give a really wide blend with this one. And take a tiny bit more just on the very tip and run a little bit more underneath the eyes. Let's add a little bit of green. So we're going to take this light green. I actually haven't used this shade yet. We're just going to run a little bit of this in the socket. I'm going to use that same brush just on the very tip. So this is just going in the socket, and then I'm going to build some up on this outer third of my outer corner, outer lid. And we'll probably overlap this with a shimmer and add some of this deep navy blue on top of it. Okay, so there's just a touch of green. Now, if I wanted to keep this look a little bit less colorful and I wanted to build up some depth, I would take the brown on the lash line on this outer corner, kind of build on top of that green. That would actually tone down that green just a little bit, but still just have a little bit of it peeking above. I'm actually gonna go in with the blue, which is going to make it a little bit more colorful, but I have used this navy blue. I actually don't think it's overly bold. It's nice and rich and deep. I'm gonna take it on my Sigma E25. Just build up a tiny bit in the tip of that brush. Most of this we're going to concentrate right at the lashes, in the outer corner, right at the lash line. Just tap it right on there, and then slowly, very lightly, without pressing very hard, just kind of feather that color up. It's a beautiful dark blue. Blends really, really well. Just be careful not to press too hard. You really don't need to do much. All right, now let's add just a tiny bit of shimmer. So these are my 2 options. This one is quite green, as you can see. This one is quite dark. So, I think I'm gonna try the green. This is gonna be pretty colorful, but we're gonna apply just a tiny amount of this. Let's actually do it with a flat brush. We're gonna take a flat brush like this, add just a little bit to the brush, and apply this right over the outer half of the lid. And then this shell pink that we have right here is going to overlap and kind of come up and meet this green. The further in you go, the more this is going to be a bold, colorful look. The less of this green you have on your eye, or like an accent color, the more wearable this more colorful look will be. I'm gonna take a clean pinky finger and just smudge out this edge at the center. And then with that same pinky finger, we're gonna take this shell pink. Look at this shade, you guys. Gorgeous. So perfect and beautiful. Bright, reflective, icy. I love shades like this. And if you don't like this level of metallic intensity, I know that I do, and I recognize that not everybody probably wants something so bold. You could definitely use a fluffy brush and get a lighter wash of shimmer. You get the most intensity with a shimmer when you use your finger, by far. So you can see I'm kind of pulling that in towards the green and then just tapping right over top of that green so they kind of just fade into each other. That is beautiful. I don't think that's overly colorful and bold. I mean, it's colorful, but it's not like in your face colorful in my opinion. All right, so I do want to try one more thing. I want to dip into this shimmer right here, which I haven't used yet. So I thought we could add just a tiny bit of that right under this outer corner, kind of on top and down below. Use that color to kind of shape out a little bit of a liner situation. So I'm just taking a small pinched C-shaped brush like this. We're gonna dip into this shimmery navy. This is called Dead Inside. What an uplifting name. I'm just tapping that along the lash line, pulling a little bit down below. All right, let's add some mascara. We're gonna try out the Physicians Formula Lash Illusion Mascara. The second mascara that they've sent me more recently. The other one I have mixed feelings about. There's some things like the Diamond Mascara. There's some things I liked about that one, some things I didn't like so much. I'll try and do an update on that one for you guys soon. This one is meant to be a defining and lifting mascara. It has lash boosting complex in it. It has film forming technology to engulf each lash with the blackest of black pigment to define and lengthen. I always love a techie mascara. Nice soft brush. Good definition. It's not too clumpy. I don't know that it's lengthening as much as some of my favorite lengthening mascaras, but it's not bad. They look kind of like feathery and natural, which is a pretty look, especially if you have naturally decent lashes and you don't need a lot of extra help. All right, here are the eyes all finished, complete with mascara. Hopefully you guys can see that mascara. I know that my outer corner is a little bit dark. I actually really like it. Now, it's not the most intense mascara. It's a little bit more of a natural looking mascara, but it does give really good definition. My lashes look very separated and evenly coated. They have a really nice feathery shape. They're just not quite as thick and as long as some of my other favorite more intense mascaras can be, but I actually like the look of them. If you like more of a natural looking mascara, I think you would really like this one. I'll let you guys know how it wears and how it removes down below, so keep an eye out for that. Now let's finish off with the lips. I did pick up 2 new lip glosses at the drugstore this morning. One from Wet n Wild. This is one of their super cheap, like $2 lip glosses. I really liked this shade. Oh, I need my glasses to read it. Hang on. This one is in the shade Attitude Check. And then I also picked up this from LA Colors. This is their holographic lip gloss in the shade Dream World. It has this really beautiful glitter in it. I love blue toned glitter in a lip gloss. I don't know why, I just think it looks really pretty on the lips. So I want to try this one out today. But first let's get started with a little bit of lip liner. Why don't we take my, where did it go? Let's take Whirl by MAC. I actually haven't used this one for quite a while. One of my favorite non-long wearing lip pencils. I actually think these ones do last okay because they're so dry and kind of stiff, but the formula itself is not technically one that is like sets down and has long wearing properties. All right, now for the lip gloss. I'm pretty sure this was around $2. Actually, I don't have my receipt with me, but I want to say both of these were about $2 a piece. And it's actually not terribly sticky. I was thinking this might be on the sticky side. All right, you guys, I think this is the completed makeup look. Let me know what you guys thought. What are your opinions on Milk Cosmetics? Have you tried out their eyeshadows before? They actually had quite a few on sale on the Sephora website, so let me know if there is an eyeshadow palette from them that you absolutely love and would recommend. I might have to give it a second glance because I was pretty impressed with the formulas. I really like the shimmer formula. Their mattes all blended really well so far. I haven't tried everything yet, but so far I've been pretty impressed with their eyeshadow formula. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me give you one final reminder. If you have not subscribed, make sure to do that before you leave, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. And I have the worst posture. I have this like little box around my eye when I set my focus point when I start my video, and I always notice as the video progresses that my eyes start to like go down as my posture gets worse, and that box is now up in my forehead. I have to remind myself to sit up.